During a congressional intelligence hearing, Ranking Member Jim Himes questions intelligence officials, including Director Tulsi Gabbard and FBI Director Kash Patel, about election security, foreign interference, and claims surrounding non-citizen voting in U.S. elections. The exchange quickly becomes tense as Himes presses for direct answers on the government's evidence regarding the 2020 election and the rationale behind recent actions involving voting equipment.
The reasons why you were there, but I do want to know whether as a result of your visit there is credible intelligence in your possession pointing to foreign interference in Georgia in the 2020 election.
Thank you for the question, Ranking Member. As you know, over each of the previous elections, there is an ongoing effort by different foreign entities.
Ma'am, it's a very specific question. Is there intelligence in your possession relative to foreign interference in the 2020 elections? Very simple, straightforward question.
We are continuing to look at previous attempts to interfere in our elections and any ongoing threats that may exist for the upcoming elections.
Okay, but can I assume that the answer to my question is no, that you have no specific intelligence related to foreign meddling in the Georgia election?
We are continuing to look into this matter.
Okay. Director, the ODNI has confirmed on the record that your office took custody of voting machines from Puerto Rico last May. I'm not aware of any previous DNI taking similar actions. Did your office promptly notify the committee about taking custody of Puerto Rico's voting machines?
I don't believe we did. However, this was done at the request of the Puerto Rico AUSA attorney.
Ma'am, it's a yes or no question.
The
answer, as you have acknowledged, is no. You did not inform the committee about the taking of a territory's voting machines. Is there a specific foreign threat? And I've read the reporting that you were looking for possible foreign threats, but is there a specific foreign threat that drove you to take this action?
There were questions about whether or not there were vulnerabilities that a threat could have taken advantage of, and that was the purpose for their requesting us to look into those vulnerabilities.
Where are those voting machines now?
I believe they are held in a secure facility at ODNI.
Have you or other ODNI officials taken any other state or territory's voting equipment into custody?
Not to my knowledge.
I want to turn in the subject of elections to a paradoxical thing. You will all be aware that the U.S. government is apparently going to grind to a halt. The president is going to sign no more bills. The Senate will spend 2 weeks apparently debating the SAVE Act. The SAVE Act, of course, would make illegal foreigners voting in U.S. elections, which is already illegal. So we are to do no more business because of apparently the existential threat to our democracy associated with foreigners voting in our elections. I am therefore puzzled by the fact that neither the unclassified nor the classified threat assessment makes any reference to risk or danger associated with foreigners voting in our elections. Director Patel, how many non-citizens have been convicted of voting in U.S. elections in the last 10 years?
The conviction stats are with the Department of Justice. I defer to them on that.
You are the director of the FBI. Give me a guess. How many convictions in the last 1 year, 5 year, or 10 year? Ballpark.
I don't have that with me, sir. Again, it's with the department.
You don't have that with, okay. Director Patel, how many active investigations does the FBI have into foreign individuals voting in U.S. elections?
We have a number of investigations, generally speaking, ongoing about individuals across the country.
Yeah, I'm asking for that number.
I don't have that number with me, but I have a number of them.
You have a number of investigations. Okay, is that number 10,000? Is it closer to 10,000 or closer to 10?
It's probably somewhere in between.
Okay. Will you please provide the committee with that number?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Director Patel, since you don't have the numbers, would it surprise you to know that the Heritage Foundation, which is not exactly the Columbia University Faculty Lounge, found only 77 instances of non-citizen voting in the 24 years between 1999 and 2023, each of which faced investigation by the appropriate authorities. So Heritage has a number of 77 examples in 24 years. Does that number surprise you?
No, because it's low.
I don't understand your answer.
You asked me if I was
Are you
surprised by that
disputing?
number.
Are you
I'm not.
disputing that the number is in the range of 77 examples of non-U.S. citizens voting in U.S. elections in a 24-year period?
I just said that number's low.
You think that number is low? Okay. So why, if this is a meaningful issue, do we have no, and I guess I direct this to Director Gabbard, why is there no mention of this thing that will grind the American government to a halt for a 2-week period in the worldwide threats analysis?
This annual threat assessment was shaped around the national security strategy's prioritization of threats to our nation and our nation's interests. There are multiple platforms and venues where there have been and there will be reporting on threats to our foreign threats to our elections.
I yield back.
Himes begins by questioning Director Gabbard about her presence during the execution of an FBI warrant at the Fulton County, Georgia election office. He notes that the FBI's unsealed affidavit made no reference to foreign interference and asks whether her office possesses any credible intelligence indicating that foreign actors interfered in Georgia's 2020 election. Gabbard responds that foreign entities have consistently attempted to interfere in U.S. elections over multiple election cycles. Unsatisfied, Himes repeats his question, seeking a direct answer about the 2020 Georgia election specifically. Gabbard maintains that her office is continuing to review previous interference efforts and ongoing threats, prompting Himes to conclude that there appears to be no specific intelligence supporting claims of foreign meddling in Georgia during that election. The discussion then shifts to reports that the Office of the Director of National Intelligence took custody of voting machines from Puerto Rico. Himes asks whether Congress was notified of this action. Gabbard acknowledges that the committee was not informed, explaining that the equipment was obtained at the request of the U.S. Attorney's Office in Puerto Rico to examine potential vulnerabilities that foreign actors could exploit. Himes continues by asking whether any specific foreign threat prompted the seizure of the machines. Gabbard explains that officials were investigating possible vulnerabilities rather than responding to confirmed foreign interference. She also confirms that the voting machines remain secured at an ODNI facility and states that to her knowledge, no other state or territorial voting equipment has been taken into custody. Turning to the broader debate over election integrity, Himes criticizes the emphasis being placed on the SAVE Act, which would strengthen proof of citizenship requirements for voter registration. He argues that non-citizen voting is already illegal and questions why the issue is being portrayed as an existential threat when neither the classified nor unclassified intelligence threat assessments identify it as a major concern. Himes then directs a pointed question to FBI Director Kash Patel, asking him to estimate how many non-citizens have actually been convicted of voting illegally in U.S. elections over the past decade.
The hearing highlights the sharp divide over election security and voter fraud. Jim Himes challenges intelligence officials to provide evidence supporting claims of widespread election threats while questioning the focus on non-citizen voting, despite the absence of such concerns in official intelligence assessments. The exchange culminates with Himes pressing Kash Patel for concrete figures on illegal non-citizen voting, underscoring the broader political debate over election integrity and proposed voting legislation.